spinner is? It is that small thing that you spin in your hand. Well, fidget spinners were viral once. They became a big sensation. Likewise, cryptocurrency is a big hype today. It's a sensation. But, just like what happened to fidget spinners, do you think cryptocurrency will also sort of become forgotten one day? Or do you think it has the potential to revolutionize the e-commerce sphere? So in my next 30 minutes of my session, I'm trying to answer some of these questions. So I want you to do a quick Google news search to see the interesting cryptocurrency articles that I come across. Now, cryptocurrencies emerged in 2009 when Satoshi Nakamoto found Bitcoin. But, interestingly, in 2009 and 2010, there weren't many interesting articles on cryptocurrency. However, the interest seemed to have picked up from 2011 onward. As you can see, the interesting articles, the headlines that has made around cryptocurrency. So I just wanted to, give you an idea how big cryptocurrency is. Now, in my next slide, for today's menu, I'll be discussing a little bit about what cryptocurrency is, how it works, and then its use in e-commerce currently, the challenges, and a bit of a peek into the future of cryptocurrency. First, before we understand how cryptocurrency works, let's see what currency is. So, going back to the history, let's say that I want to buy rice and I have excess dal. So, I would have to go to a person who is willing to buy rice, exchange of dal. Now, this is how basically the barter system evolved, and after some time, there was a need for a medium of exchange, and as a result, currency evolved. Now, in the present context, the largely used currency is paper currency or paper money. In Sri Lanka, paper money is printed, regulated, issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. So, if you and I try to print currency, probably we end up in jail and make the headlines. Now, let's see what cryptocurrency is. So, cryptocurrency is digital currency that is using cryptography for security. Now, a few basic features of cryptocurrency would be that it's intangible, it exists on internet, resides in your digital wallet, and that it's not regulated, issued, governed by a central body. Now, if you look at how cryptocurrency is coined or issued, if you take an example like Bitcoin, I'll be further discussing these in detail in my next slides. So in that Bitcoin network, what I would like to call the internet community, there will be miners who will be decoding a computational algorithm and regenerating blocks as coins. So this is how cryptocurrency is basically issued. Before we dig into further detail, let's see how cryptocurrency works. Now, cryptocurrency uses the underlying technology as blockchains. As beginners in programming, I believe most of you must have heard of a data structure called a linked list. So if you're familiar with the linked list, how I see a blockchain is a more advanced implementation of a Now in a linked list, the link is denoted by a block in the blockchain. Now this is an example of a block which I wanted to capture with all the key areas of it. There's a hash, which is the unique identifier, the fingerprint of the block. Now this hash is generated by a hashing algorithm. In blockchain, Bitcoin, it uses SHA-256, and it will contain the transaction details, the sender, receiver, the transaction amount, the timestamp, the block was generated, and then an interesting field called the previous hash. Before I go into explaining what the previous hash is, if you remember the linked list, can you remember there were pointers for the next and the previous link? Likewise, blockchain, the blocks are connected with the hashing. In the linked list, the first link was called first, and in the blockchain, the first block is called Genesis. Now, as an example, if you see the hash of this first block and the previous hash it will not contain as it's a Genesis block, and then the next block is connected by containing the previous hash of Genesis block. Likewise, this is how the blockchain integrity is maintained. Now that we had a look at the underlying technology of a blockchain, let's see the 4 key industry sectors of cryptocurrency. So what are exchanges? So exchanges are basically used to sell, trade, purchase cryptocurrency. A similar example would be the Columbus Stock Exchange, where you can sell, buy, trade shares. So what are wallets? Just like a physical wallet, cryptocurrency has a digital wallet. Now this digital wallet is what allows you, what gives you permission to do transactions with cryptocurrency. It is like your bank account. Or for a similar example related to stock, you can say your trading account. So the payments would be basically the transactions that you are doing with cryptocurrency. The key part of the industry sector that I would like to further explain is mining. The miners of a network play a very crucial role. Now as I said, now the cryptocurrency network, if you take Bitcoin, the Bitcoin network would have miners. Let's say a similar example would be torrent download. Just like the internet community, there would be a peer-to-peer network where there would be miners of that network who will be verifying and validating the transactions. They will be the ones who will be generating the hash, adding the block to the blockchain, and they will also be checking whether there's any tampering of the blocks. This is the concept called proof of work, where now let's say when they have to verify a transaction, they will go through the entire blockchain and see if any of the hashes have been changed, tampered. If so, they will regenerate all the hashes. This is a process called proof of work. So they play a very critical part in the Bitcoin network and hence very important to know. Now that I have explained a little bit about what cryptocurrency is, I want to see how big cryptocurrency is. So for that, I went through some research articles that has captured market statistics on cryptocurrency use. So let's have a look at these statistics. Before that, I would like to give you a very brief understanding on the types of cryptocurrency that is in use. Now in 2009, when cryptocurrency emerged, it was Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto found, ever since there's a growth of other cryptocurrency types. Now Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, and then there was Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash, Ripple, Altcoin. Now these are not exact clones of Bitcoin, they have their own innovations. Whereas if I take an example, Ethereum. Now it's using something called smart contracts. So there are innovations as in how they invoke privacy, how the transactions are processed. But the common theme about all these cryptocurrency types is that the underlying technology remains the same as a blockchain. That's a little bit about the types of cryptocurrency. Now just to see how the community grew and how cryptocurrency has expanded over the years, this research shows that from 2007 to 2017, the market rate growth has been threefold for cryptocurrency. And we can see in orange, Bitcoin growth, and in yellow, you can see the other cryptocurrency types are also picking up. Now this slide further illustrates, this is also market research, it illustrates statistics from 2015 to 2017 on how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have sort of dominated the market. This is the cryptocurrency market, and you can see that Bitcoin is dominating in 2015. However, by 2017, there are other cryptocurrency types that have also sort of picked up. Now, this research has actually tried to map out the active wallets, hence the users that are doing cryptocurrency transactions. So, during a particular period of time, they have done an estimation on the active wallets, hence the cryptocurrency transactions that they have mapped out. So you can see that there are many active wallets. That there are many active wallets, but you need to know that a user can have several wallets. To explain what a wallet is, it is a software program that you can install. There are open source software applications, wallet software that you can install on your mobile, you can install on your desktop, even web wallets. So there are different types of wallets, and with these wallets, just like our physical wallet, the people who would be doing transactions have been mapped out. But there could be dormant wallets as well. So this is only an estimated figure. Now, this research shows the exchanges that are supporting the currency types, and that mostly it's USD and Euro. So that means cryptocurrency is mostly traded in these popular fiat currencies. Now that I have explained to you what cryptocurrency is, in order to connect cryptocurrency and e-commerce, let me quickly run you through what e-commerce is. So I don't think I need to explain in details what e-commerce is. It's basically buying and selling of goods over internet. Now, looking at the most popular e-commerce payment methods, it would be credit, debit card, PayPal, cash on delivery, bank transfers. Maybe one day cryptocurrency might also make this list. Who knows? Let's see. So before cryptocurrency transactions, how we look at the cryptocurrency transactions work, I thought it would be best to refresh our minds on how credit card transactions work. Now, credit card transaction would appear to be a quick second of a processing time, but there's a lengthy verification process that is in place. Now, for an example, let's say that I'm going to buy a camera on eBay, and and that I am having a someone with a credit card. So let's say that eBay's banking partner is HSBC. So when I put a request through to do this purchase, HSBC would send a request to Visa, and Visa would do a primitive security check, and then they will request for a transaction approval from Samba, and when the transaction approval comes through to Visa, HSBC will get a confirmation, and hence my transaction will be approved. This is how basically credit card transactions work. Now, in comparison, let's try to understand how cryptocurrency transactions work. Now, let's take the same example. Let's assume that eBay is accepting cryptocurrency transactions. So, I would like to pay in Bitcoin to buy a camera on eBay. Now, when I put through this request for the transaction, it will be broadcasted to a peer-to-peer network. Can you see over here? Now, this is the peer-to-peer network. And then, this peer-to-peer network, which I would like to call the internet community, would have miners. Now, these miners will be verifying and validating the transaction. How that's done would be basically, they will look at the transaction details, apply proof of work, and then they will be generating a block with a hash, with the transaction details, timestamp, and connecting that block to the blockchain. So the blockchain is like an open public ledger, whereas it has all the transaction details in the blockchain. Now once this is added to the blockchain, the customer will receive a confirmation that the transaction is complete. So this is how cryptocurrency transactions work. So I wanted to show you e-commerce store where cryptocurrency is accepted. This is actually a demo from CoinGate. CoinGate is one of the payment gateways that is used to accept cryptocurrency. So there's a demo. You can probably go and try it out yourself. So this is a normal e-commerce store. The only difference is that the prices are appearing in Bitcoin. And then you go to the checkout, it's the same checkout, but it's just that the price, the total is appearing in Bitcoin. And then this is the interesting part, the difference. Normally after the checkout, you would have a form to submit your personal details, so payment details, right? But here, you don't have anything like that. Here, you can, if you see this pay with Bitcoin, pay with altcoin, that is because some of the payment gateways accept certain types of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. So here, CoinGate is accepting Bitcoin and altcoin. And then, if you see this, now this is the Bitcoin address of the merchants, the public digital wallet. Sorry, let me rephrase it. That is the merchant's digital wallet's address. It's a public wallet address. Whereas we are sending funds, the transaction directly through the payment gateway to the merchant's digital wallet. Now how wallets work is, when you install a wallet software, you will get a key pair, a public key and a private key. So let's say that I am the consumer who's sending this transaction to the merchant. I will have to sign off this transaction with my private key, and only the public key of the wallet is visible to all. When the merchant is receiving this transaction, he will have to sign off with the private key. Now that we had a look at how Bitcoin is showcased in an e-commerce demo store, let's say that you have a Magento store and that you would like to accept cryptocurrency. For Magento 1 and Magento 2 certificate is 1 and coin payments is allowed for Magento 2. So you can go to this and try it out yourself. Now why I selected Magento might be a question. Netstarter specializes in Magento e-commerce stores. So that's why I selected the example from Magento Marketplace. But you can definitely do this for Shopify, WordPress. Plugins are available. Now these are some of the most popular payment gateways. BitPay, Coinbase, CoinGate, and they are available for WordPress, Shopify, any of the sites. But there are so many other payment gateways popping up. These are some of the most popular ones. So just to show you how big cryptocurrency is and what the giants of the industry have to say about cryptocurrency. Microsoft is accepting cryptocurrency at their universal store, and so does overstock.com. Now interestingly, overstock.com is actually a small retailer who became very popular by their market strategy of accepting cryptocurrency and entering this niche market. So likewise, there are many other e-commerce stores that's accepting cryptocurrency currently. Now here are a few examples. Overstock.com, eGifter is one of the popular gift card stores. And then Expedia, travel booking, Shopify, which is just like a big e-commerce company. And then Dish, one of the first media companies to adopt cryptocurrency. Now the classic challengers with the e-commerce transaction payment methods that's available are fraud transactions. Let's say that you get a call and asking you whether you have made this transaction at the moment. So I'm sure you're familiar with the credit card transaction frauds, where your credit card details have been taken over or misused. And then the transaction cost. So for transaction cost, the merchants have to incur a cost of, for every transaction, 2.5 to 3.5%. And also looking at the investment that they do to mitigate the risk of fraudulent transactions, that cost is also charged from the merchant, and end of the day it's charged from the consumer as well. Then the transaction time. For local transactions, the process will be much faster, but for cross-border transactions, it might take some time for process verification. And then, now when your e-commerce store has the payment details, the personal details submitted by the consumer, the e-commerce merchant has a responsibility not to let this information be misused. So if this information is taken over by a third party, that could end of the day become your responsibility as an e-commerce merchant. But if you saw cryptocurrency transactions, there's no need of submitting that data. And now let's move on to having a look at the benefits that you can achieve by using cryptocurrency. Now, crypto payments are push transactions, whereas when the transaction is requested, it will be broadcasted to the peer-to-peer network. And then, since they are push transactions, the store doesn't need to have any of the personal information, the payment details. So it is said that the transaction fee is lower, close to none, for cryptocurrency transactions. But if there's a conversion fee, as in let's say that you have you are accepting cryptocurrency in your store, but as a merchant, the merchant wants to accept it in fiat currency, say US dollars, euro. Then for the best profit price, if you need that conversion done, then you probably have to pay a conversion fee. But it is considered that this cost is lower than the credit card transaction. Then also accepting cryptocurrency transactions in your store might be a marketing strategy, because entering this niche market might gain popularity with the community, and as a result, you might become more popular, as some of the startups that I showed you before have benefited. Now, if you are an e-commerce manager and if you are thinking of adopting cryptocurrency to your e-commerce store, these are some of the points that you should consider. You need to know if it's going to be a good marketing strategy, whereas if you have a target demographic of customers who won't be aware of cryptocurrency, hence you will gain a lot of popularity in the community with the customer base. And also the cost of adoption and usage of cryptocurrency. Let's say the cost of installing the payment gateway and then the usage as a result, how many customers will end of the day be using cryptocurrency. Then the risk of transactions being reversed. Now for credit card transactions, if there's a fraudulent transaction done, the customer would end of the day complain and there could be a chargeback for that. But in cryptocurrency transactions, once the transaction is done, it's a done deal. There's no reversal, so no chargebacks. Also, convenience for the customer. This is also something we need to look at if you are thinking of adopting with your e-commerce store. Then, as for the merchant, if the merchant has its own Bitcoin wallet, then that would be easier than having a third party involved, whereas you can receive cryptocurrency directly to your digital wallet. And then if you take the service of payment providers like CoinGate, Coinbase, they provide you fiat currency instead of cryptocurrency on your request for the best market price. And then you also need to be aware whether your customers know cryptocurrency, whether they are eager to use cryptocurrency as their transaction method. Now that we have seen the considerations to adopt cryptocurrency, I would also like to take you through some of the key challenges that I see for cryptocurrency's use in e-commerce. One of the key challenges is the volatility and the exchange rate risk. Now if you see this graph, this is during 1 month period, how cryptocurrency price, this is Bitcoin, how it has fluctuated. Now, talking about fluctuations, cryptocurrency, let's say Bitcoin, fluctuated is based on its popularity. Let's say that there are many articles and Google searches with positive feedback and positive updates for Bitcoin, then the price will rise. But let's say some big company drops Bitcoin, negative feedback, then it drops. So there's actually no underlying method, underlying transaction to predict the exchange rate of Bitcoin. So this is a big concern as a merchant when you adopt cryptocurrency to your store, because then you will not be in the position to predict your cash flows, revenue, forecast revenue, and that is a major challenge at the moment. So now let's see one of the other challenges. Now for an e-commerce store, you need to have a scalable solution for your transaction methods. And cryptocurrency, transactions per second is not optimum at this point of time. If you take credit card transactions, they are at a very higher number. Also, if you look at the transaction verification time, now I did tell you that the miners of the network will be verifying and validating the transactions, right? Now let's say there's an increase of network and then you have 6 miners in the network verifying transactions. So this is going to create a bottleneck, and as a result, some of these transactions will be queued and verified probably 1-2 days later. So this is going to be a big impact for the consumers, hence your e-commerce store. So this is also one of the challenges that is not yet developed and would be a challenge to use in e-commerce. The acceptance level and awareness is also something that we need to consider when you are adopting cryptocurrency to your e-commerce store. Especially because if you adopt something that the customers are not aware of, clearly you will not gain the result you are expecting at the end of the day. Now, because of this, Bitcoin network needs to spread around and more people need to be aware of how cryptocurrency is used. So at this moment of time, this is still a challenge for e-commerce. So I would like to share with you a little bit about the future, how I see that it's going to evolve. Now, there are many researches happening to improve some of these key challenges that the e-commerce sector is facing for cryptocurrency. Now, the SealTalks and U-Trust are projects which are geared towards minimizing the volatility risk, providing proper consumer protection, something like PayPal does, and then to achieve a faster transaction verification time, and also to have flexible APIs for the merchants to adopt. So this is a bit about the development that is happening. Now, according to research, it shows that most of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency acceptance level is higher in startup companies. This could be a marketing strategy where they are trying to aim at the crypto community and hence gain popularity. Also, if you have a customer base who is very well aware of how cryptocurrency is used, then you are going to reap good results. Then, especially in developing countries with shadow economies, cryptocurrency is very popular. Popular for trading, for e-commerce transactions. Now, in order to wrap up my session, and in conclusion, in my opinion, cryptocurrency's use in e-commerce is very limited or close to none. And cryptocurrency's use in e-commerce is still at a very infant stage. Therefore, although there is a community growth, there is an interest over cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency's use in e-commerce needs to be further developed to adopt cryptocurrency properly in e-commerce. So what I feel is, this is not the right time to jump the gun, but cryptocurrency is definitely something interesting for e-commerce that we should keep an eye out for. But at this point of time, it needs to be further developed. Probably we'll have a different conversation in the future. Until then, let's keep an eye out on the developments of cryptocurrency and be more aware of what it has to offer for e-commerce sector.